Is there? Do you want me to check somehow? I can. Hold on. Let me. What do I do? Do I go to like
I'm
your?
gonna open up my Twitter. This did happen with the other service too. Let's see. Oh, it does say I'm live. Here we are. Cool. So I'm gonna retweet just as welcome to our live show. I'm gonna quote this tweet
Oh, I see
and
us.
say,
Wow.
chatting with Near about the updated version of Obo and his recent series arrays from A16Z. Cool. And I'll tag you in that if you want to retweet it. And I think actually on LinkedIn, see, we do this live. I don't understand why they don't just have it automatically do it because the APIs aren't good enough. Cool. So I'll make sure this is working on LinkedIn and then we'll chat.
Sounds good.
I'll let people come in. We've known each other a long time. We can talk a little bit before that.
Wait. So tell me. So you just moved. Uh,
Yes.
how
Yeah,
are
we're
the kids
good. I mean,
navigating
we're
this whole
streaming it,
transition?
but I guess that's fine.
That's
I can tell
fine.
people how my kids are.
Well,
Okay. Now I gotta turn the sound off. And I will tag you in this. This I don't know how to retweet. Um,
relink.
relink to post.
Re re
I'm trying to relink in
relink
it,
it.
which is the hardest thing to do. Here we go. Repost. Talking with. Are you guys on Near from Obo? This is a really bad user experience for everybody watching right now, unfortunately.
Matt's trying to figure out how to do this for anybody watching it, and I'm the guinea pig apparently.
Okay. Um, okay. I just
There has to be a way to do this before we
so
start the live stream, right?
I thought I did,
Okay.
but I didn't. So, thank you. All right, we'll get started. It seems
All
like
right.
it's working. So the we've known each other a long time. You started Anchor. I think you guys started out of our office at BetaWorks or worked on it very early out of our office at BetaWorks.
That's right. Yeah. You were our very first investor.
And then when you were doing a new company, you had, I thought, here's how I would articulate your insight, but tell me if I'm wrong here. To me, it was like the highest and best use of LLMs is sort of understanding what's in a person's is learning, and what learning is understanding or teaching is understanding what's in someone's mind, understanding what they want to learn, and then figuring out how to get from A to B, but in the context that they will understand. Is that maybe that was my sort of internalization of it, but how do you think about it, Bo?
I mean, I think over the years the product and the vision it's all kind of evolved, or rather, I shouldn't say the vision has evolved. The vision of execution has evolved, right? But the end state was always the same, which is from a personal standpoint, it's extremely hard to learn things online. It has always been extremely hard, and I know I'm not alone, right? Like I multiple times a day. I know you do this. I know pretty much everybody I know does this multiple times a day. Will try to use the internet to learn something, to try and understand something. And it's a pain in the ass because the internet was not actually built for that. And all the platforms that I use to teach myself, like YouTube and Wikipedia and threads on Reddit and even ChatGPT now and other LLMs, like all of these products were not actually built for learning, right?
Right.
So you have this experience where pre AI, post AI, it doesn't really change anything, which is people are constantly trying to learn things. They're constantly trying to understand things, whether it's for professional purposes or academic purposes, or that something happens in the news and they don't understand it. And for years, I've been looking at that and just being like, this has to be, there has to be a way to solve this problem of rather than putting the onus on a person to decide how to learn, how to get from A to Z, what path they're supposed to take, what resources they're supposed to use, how to go out and find those resources. It actually is very reminiscent, as I'm sure you remember, of flashback 10 years when you and I first met. Like very similar pitch when it comes to podcasting and Anchor and audio, right? At the time, it was like, it's hard to create audio, it's hard to distribute audio, it's hard to monetize audio, it's hard to even know how to get started. And then we'd been thinking about this problem, and we realized, wait, actually, the fundamental way to solve this is to take all of those problems and just try to like have the single universal platform that everybody can go to have a better experience. And so that's what we're trying to do now in learning, which I think is 1,000 times bigger opportunity than audio, because I really think it affects every person on the planet.
So you built the product, you released the first version of it. What changed? I'd love for us to be able, maybe we can screen share what the new version is. What did you learn sort of from that first version to now?
So we launched the first version in September. Exactly 3 months before the second version. So September. And very quickly learned a lot of things. I think we launched a bunch of product changes yesterday alongside our fundraising announcement that are all sort of the culmination of a bunch of learnings over the past few months. I would say amongst the biggest are most of what people put in. This surprised me, but most of what people prompt Oboe with. And by the way, you could try Oboe. If you're listening, you could go to oboe.com and try it. It's oboe.com. More than 2/3 of what people put in is what I refer to as like goal-oriented prompts. Meaning they're not coming in and saying, teach me physics, right? They're saying, teach me this thing for a particular purpose. I have a particular goal in mind. Like I'm trying to pass a test. I'm trying to use AI for my job. I'm buying a house and I don't know how mortgages work. Very goal-oriented, which is actually different than what I would have expected. Because I think I would have expected that it would have been much more of a casual use case, but people come in with high intent for particular things that they're trying to solve, which in retrospect makes sense. Our product was not well suited for that. I think there were a lot of obvious improvements that we could make to allow it to become better suited for that. So one of the things, for instance, that we now do is every course has chapters and it's much more of a linear narrative. It's personalized, but it's linear, right? Like if we know what your Z is, your goal, our job should be to work backwards from your Z, get you from A to Z in a linear fashion that feels very personalized and is motivating and is short chunks and makes you feel like you're progressing along a path. And so every course now has this very linear progression that's presented to the user.
So the original version, I'm going to share my screen so that people can kind of picture what it is, but go to oboe.com, oboe.com. And let me see if this works. So the original version was, so that people can see it. Hopefully this shows it. Great. So people can see what do you want to learn about. And I would type something in and the result, we don't have the old version, there are probably screenshots of it. The old version, I'm just going to lie, I opened the wrong screen so it doesn't have my pre-filled out stuff. The current version I noticed had exactly what you're describing. It has, I was asking it a question that apparently is not a regular user question, but asking about like modes in music. And so it was like walking me through the different kinds of modes. And it had these chapters that you're describing. The older version, I think, would have given me multiple media, like a podcast of 5 minutes, a podcast of 10 minutes, a quick write-up, but it all would have been the same. What was holding constant was the information, but it was and the pivot point was, what's the form factor you care about? And it seems like now you've sort of reversed it, where you have a relatively consistent, almost like Wikipedia, dynamically generated Wikipedia page, but it's a course. So the thing that you're pivoting on is, okay, now that we know you know this, here's the next thing. Now that you know this, here's the next thing. Is that the right way to think about it?
That's definitely a right way to think about it, but it touches on another big improvement that I think we made to the product, which is in the first